Right, everyone. Hello and welcome to Friday's session of our back to school webinars. Let's jump right in because we've got lots to cover today. So, of course, I will begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the lands on which we meet. I recognise their continuing connection to land, waters, and community. Pay respects to them and their cultures, and to elders past and present. And also in recognition that we are a bi-national team, Google also acknowledges Māori as tangata whenua, the original custodians, and Te Tiriti or Waitangi partners of Aotearoa New Zealand. We respect this history to Māori, the Māori worldview, and commit to elevating the voice and experience of Māori and communities. So introducing our team, we have a team across Australia, New Zealand, and you can see also across APAC and across our international team. Swan is working in our international impact team. So that's our team. Our commitment to helping schools transform their teaching and learning is sitting across these four pillars. Enable every education leader, empower every educator, and equip every student. So those are our four areas that we work on with our different pillars of education. So Google for Education, of course, brings the best of Google to education to help transform teaching and learning every day. So today's session is entitled What's New with Google for Education? So this comes from the announcements that have just come out of BETT over in London. So we are going to jump in and get started on today's session. So we're going to talk about a few areas of need for teachers, and we're going to have a look at our helpful AI tools. We're going to have a look at streamlining classroom management. We're going to look at greater collaboration, and then safer learning with some of those deeper admin controls. So before we dive in, we want to start by sharing an accomplishment. So in 2024, as you can see there, Google for Education rolled out more than 65 updates across our products to make them work better for educators like you and students around the world. This is set up for a really great 2025, and we're excited to continue to build for the entire sector. So we're committed to providing these tools that are trustworthy, tailored, and that keep evolving. And as we've seen this week, we are evolving every day. Our tools are changing rapidly, and we like to try and keep everyone up to date with those. So let's talk a little bit about our Gen AI tools. We know it's a topic on lots of people's minds. Before we launched the Gemini app, the teams, we consulted with child safety and development experts to help shape our content policies with an experience that prioritizes safety, with organisations like the ones you can see on the screen here, the Family Online Safety Institute and the Future of Privacy Forum. And we'll touch on that a little bit as we go through. Now, back in May, we announced something called Learn LM, which was our new family of models that are fine-tuned for learning and grounded in educational research. We partner with experts in the science of learning and pedagogy and educators to develop this new tool. When we infused Gemini into our educational products, we kept in mind these principles to help make experiences more engaging, more personal, and more useful. We also realized that both educators and students need support to make the most of AI responsibly. So we partner with MIT Raise initiative to help educators gain hands-on practical experience with Gen AI. With that course, you can also gain a professional development certificate. And we also launched the Gemini Academy for teachers as well. So let's dive into what's new in Google for Education for 2025. Now, as we go through the presentation, there are some important bits. Now, we can see those green arrows. Those are the areas where we need to kind of pay attention to. Down the bottom here is what editions or what things they are available for. There'll be a little description. Up the very top there is top left is whether it's Gemini, whether it's Workspace, or whether it's a Chromebook. And top right is when it's available, if it's available right now, or if it is releasing soon. So those are the important bits that we're looking at as we go through this presentation to help you kind of understand where you're going to see these updates coming, and also when you're going to see these updates coming. So that's what we need to look at as we're making our way through the presentation. So with that said, let's jump in and have a little look at all these bits. So we'll begin with our responsible and helpful AI tools that are made for education. Digital safety remains our key priority, and this applies to all of our new AI tools. We're committed to advancing AI with safety at the core, using AI-enabled techniques and tools that we test and monitor for threats in our system. The big thing here is we're building transparency and safety into our products so that every day you're safer with Google. And when we introduce any new technology, we believe it's important to be thoughtful about development and implementation. That's why we work with a range of education technology experts and organizations, as you can see on this slide here. So we consult with our child safety and development experts like the Family Online Safety Institute, Connect Safely, the Future of Privacy Forum, and lots of others as well. We uphold compliance with global educational requirements to protect our student privacy, and we work super closely with school communities through our customer advisory boards and Google for Education pilot programs, which you'll see some options to join these in a little bit as we go through some of these slides. And of course, your data is your data, and this is also super true when you're using our generative AI tool, Gemini. So we have the first really big point is that we have added data protections in the Gemini app when you're using your education account. So that means data is not reviewed by anyone or used to train any of our AI models. And we're delighted to say this is available in the free of charge app as well. Next, you need to be able to teach and learn confidently with information you can rely on. So the double check feature that's sitting inside of Gemini helps you to do just that. And you can see on here a little example of the double check feature that's in Gemini. So doing a quick search for anything that comes up inside of the Gemini app. And because we want to introduce Gen AI tools to younger learners, we launched the Gemini experience for teens. So compared to other AI products, our Gemini teen experience is considered low risk and is designated as designed for kids by Common Sense Media. So it provides a teen-friendly onboarding experience when you switch this on for people 13 and over, or the appropriate age in your country. This is off, remember, you do need to enable this, so it's not on by default. And for users with Education Plus, the Education Standard, and Gemini Education licenses, Gemini comes as a core service for your school community, meaning you'll have enterprise-grade data protection, admin controls, and reporting. And you can see the compliance standards that we've achieved on this slide as well. All super, super important to get. So using your workspace apps as data sources for Gemini with the Google Workspace extensions in the Gemini app. So you can reference those things on the screen there, your Gmail, your Docs, and your Keep from the Gemini app. It is available globally, and there is a beta rolling out at the moment. So check your Gemini app for those extension connections, as you can see on the screen. Now, if you have a Gemini education license, you have access to GEMs, which are pre-made learning coaches. Things like the Learning Coach is what we call a GEM. So they are the pre-made little agents that sit down the left-hand side of Gemini. You can save time on those repetitive tasks with GEMs in Gemini Advanced. GEMs are personalized versions of the Gemini app that remember your prompting instructions for future chats. These allow you to upload relevant documents as well, so that the GEM can ground answers in your specific context and remember it for the future. We've also recently expanded the availability of the side panel feature, as you can see down the right-hand side there. You can access Gemini in the side panel in 7 additional languages: Spanish, Portuguese, Japanese, Korean, Italian, French, and German, as you can see down the bottom left there. Speaking of adding Power of Gemini into your different apps, we've also made updates so that Gemini is now available inside Google Classroom. So it's here to help teachers with new features powered by Learn LM, like creating lesson plans, generating lesson hooks, making quizzes, releveling texts, and also creating vocabulary lists. So that was just announced as the new ability to create a vocab list inside of Classroom with Gemini. Now, if you are interested in joining the AI track of the Google for Education pilot program, that is the short link you can go to, goo.gle/edu pilot program AI. And I'll list these links in the chat in a moment, because I'm using multiple screens here, so it's a little bit hard for me to drop in the chat, but I'll make sure that this is available to us later on. So you can also get a summary of your Gemini for Workspace privacy and security controls, and quickly understand what Gemini does and doesn't do by visiting the Gemini for Google Workspace Privacy Hub. So that is the short link there, goo.gle, Gemini for Workspace-privacy. So that gives you information to help you understand how your data is used and how it's secured with Gemini in Workspace. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Notebook LM. So that is our free of charge, amazingly powerful tool. We are now bringing in Notebook LM Plus. So if you have the Gemini Education license, you get an upgraded version of Notebook LM. So it's got increased limits, new notebook customizations, some sharing, some analytics as well built inside there. So Notebook LM is still remaining free of charge. This is Notebook LM Plus that's available to you with that Gemini license. All right, new Chromebook Plus features: help me read, help me write, and live translate. So Chromebooks are your portal to the latest Google innovations. We've made it super easy for you to get there with our new line of advanced Chromebooks. So Chromebook Plus, powered by Google AI. And there are a couple of really cool features in there. Help me write is a right click, and it gives you access to Gemini right there inside your screen. Then there is Help Me Read, which will summarize and break down the information on the page. And also Live Translate is on there as well. You also have built-in access to Google Lens, powered by AI, so you can search what's on your Chrome browser. So as you can see there, you can click on something, use Lens to search right from that web page. So that's Google Lens built into the browser. Next up, we're going to cover some tools that help educators streamline their classroom management. And if we have a look at this classroom here, we've got the student devices on the tables. We've got a sign-in kiosk outside. We've got convertibles or tablets. We have Chromebook Pluses as well. So these are all the different styles of Chromebook you can get. So thinking about that, how do we help to keep all these connected? So we're announcing a brand new tool called Class Tools, which is a new set of features for managed Chromebooks available in Workspace for Education Plus. So a set of new features that are in Education Plus on managed Chromebooks. You can seamlessly share and pin content to students' screens to engage with the class in real time and keep students engaged on task and provide individualized support. You can share your lesson content directly to a group of students or the entire class. You can check in on students' progress with a single view on your teacher device. You can share great student work you can see. You can also display translated captions on the students' devices. So the teacher could be speaking in one language, the students could be having it translated directly in front of them. So schools with Workspace for Education Plus can access Class Tools when they're on managed Chrome OS devices. Now, if you want to know more about this amazing new tool that has come out, you can go to goo.gle/class tools-interest. So this is a way that the educator can see what the students are doing on their devices, pin work, push out work, and get everyone's attention as well on their Chromebooks. So if you are interested in testing this out at early preview, there is the link on the screen there. We have, with app licensing, there have been some big updates. You can easily purchase, deploy, and manage app licenses across your domain right within your centralized admin console. And we've just added Canva to the app licensing program. So you can push out Canva via the app licensing program. You can, if you need to get parent signatures for permission slips or job offers or documents signed off, there's a new feature in Google Docs that just make collecting signatures a lot easier, e-signatures in PDFs now. So we have had e-signature in Docs, we now have e-signature in PDFs, and it is available now and globally available. We're also adding new classroom add-ons, so you've got more choice in accessing your favorite EdTech apps all right from within the classroom. And as you can see on there, there is FigJam. So FigJam is a whiteboarding app. Discovery Education, Autodesk Tinkercad, and Education Perfect are all now classroom add-ons. So they will sit inside of Classroom for you to use. You can assign, collect, and grade FigJam files directly within Google Classroom while you're engaging with students in collaborative hands-on learning, as you can see in the little image there. Okay, so let's dive into some tools that help enable greater collaboration and creativity for more connected classrooms. So, of course, we must come back to Google Vids. So the newest app in the Google Workspace for Education ecosystem, Vids, it launched last year and has now rolled out to 100% globally. So it is a video creation app that is collaborative. It also works inside Classroom that allows students to create immersive video with storytelling and powerful collaboration that's integrated right within Google Workspace for Education tools you use already. It's also integrated in Classroom. If you missed yesterday's session, we had a fantastic demo from Adrian on Vids. So the recordings are all available. You can jump back to yesterday's and have a look at that awesome demo he did yesterday. Now, if you have the Gemini for Education license, there is also an AI upgrade to Vids as well. So it helps you to create, as you can see here, a vid from scratch. It will create the template for you, which you can then send out to your students. So with the Gemini Education license, you do get some upgraded features inside of Vids to make it easier for you to create on the fly and then send out to your students. For those of you who aren't as familiar with Google Classroom as others, this is your create an assignment screen. From here, you can access many of the teaching and learning features we've been talking about today down here. So here are where add-ons sit through here. This screen in Classroom is where you'll have your central place for crafting engaging learning experiences. So these are where we can send out those add-ons. This is where your practice sets and your read-along sit, and this is the way that your new classroom looks. And I just spotted a message there from Zoe. The other videos, if you go back to the registration page, you'll see that I've uploaded the videos onto there. Okay, so having a look at our view around data-driven instruction and personal learning. You see this as a cycle. So we have a cycle of learning and instruction that rolls around here. And you can start on the cycle at pretty much anywhere you want. So we can start at differentiation, personalize, and then assess. So this is our cycle of learning with Classroom and Workspace for Education sitting in the center here. So inside of Classroom, we obviously have the amazing read-along. So it's the way that we can help students to learn and get feedback on their reading.
To get reading help, tap the word checks.
It's a little look at read along in classroom. Now, when we think about read along in classroom, there are some really nice features that are also available for you here. So we can share some of the new I'm going to share some of the new capabilities of classroom in the next couple of slides. So we have read along in classroom. They can learn at their own pace. Educators can help them with even more reading insights. So you can differentiate across here as well to help boost your reading skills, provide instant help for students who need it with the power of AI, and to gain individual and class level insights. In our next little slide here, you can see some examples of the insights you can get inside your gradebook. So the progress insights about students' reading skills are super helpful for you to track their skills and see how they're going. And all this is done in the background automatically for you. So this is when you're using Read Along in Classroom. This is inside your markbook with your educator insights. And there's more updates coming in Read Along in Classroom when it comes to gaining student insights. So you're also going to get access to a phonics skills dashboard available in Read Along, and also a whole lot of new Heggerty decodables available for you. So that is available right now. The dashboard will link back to those phonics skills as well. In the spirit of always trying to relieve admin workloads and reduce the amount of admin you need to do, we're introducing the ability to do bulk grading in classroom. So you can give everyone a yes or no grade, for instance, if it's just a simple hand-in rather than going through one at a time. So you can quickly and efficiently grade all students' work on the gradebook page by selecting Score All, as you can see in the GIF up there. Student groups in Classroom has now rolled out completely. So it is the ability to set up student groups inside of Classroom. So rather than doing this student, this student, this student, you can push a piece of work out to that group. So thinking about pairing that with Read Along for a reading group, a brilliant use of this as well. Or a practice set or a YouTube interactive question to go out to a student group as well. And to address the needs of keeping parents and guardians in the loop and up to date on their student progresses, we're introducing a Guardian preview of student classwork, and that again is available now. So Guardian email summaries will now enable guardians to preview their students' classwork pages from Classroom. So it sees that you can see their assigned work and the attachments. So guardians can actually see what the work looks like inside of Classroom. And also to help you spend less time creating presentations, we've got a whole bunch of new templates that have just been released specifically for education. So you'll see a couple of them in this GIF up here that are specifically for education, and they are released right now. Now, as we become more accustomed to all things digital learning, we know it remains critical to teach students how to write by hand as well. So the new feature in Workspace, Classroom, and Google Fonts provides a visual aid for primary school students to learn to draw letters with Playwright fonts. So they are handwriting fonts that you can use to create practice activities. Moving on to have a look at some devices now. These different devices are available differently by region. But we have just released 20 brand new devices for the market for students and educators. And you can see some of them are across there. Convertibles, tablet styles, and the world famous clamshell regular Chromebook as well. So a bunch of different ones that are there. You'll see those differently depending on where you are in the world. Now, what we have here is on Chromebooks, you can switch on the welcome recap. Now, the welcome recaps, when you sign in, you'll be greeted with a new screen that shows a summary of what you previously had open. Now, the other really great one on there is what's called the focus feature. which I've been using and is super, super useful for me. It's basically a do not disturb setup on your device where you're looking just at one app. So if I'm just building a slide deck, I can turn on do not disturb. Nothing else will disturb me while I'm there. It really helps me to stay focused. And within Chrome, we're also adding some incredible new accessibility features to help everyone learn. So face control is up the top there. So the ability for people with limited motor function or limited dexterity can control their entire Chromebook with just the movement of their faces. We also have Read Aloud on the Chrome browser. So it's a new feature in reading mode that allows text to be spoken aloud in many natural sounding voices. That's available now. And also PDF OCR. So optical character recognition is OCR. So scanned PDFs mean that, so any PDFs you've got mean that screen readers can now read them. So a great couple of accessibility features that have now released into Chrome and Chromebooks. Another cool new Chromebook feature lets you be more creative with your assignments. It's the built-in recorder app. Now, this recorder app creates voice recordings and audio content with built-in transcripts. It's available on Chromebooks. The transcription is only available on Chromebook Plus, so there is a little bit of difference in here. The built-in recorder, as you can see in the little picture there, you can create your voice recordings, and it will also, you see, transcribe it down the left-hand side, who said what. Okay, finally, we're going to cover the features that help you to ensure safer learning, so those deeper admin controls. Couple of good reminders about Google for Education and how we approach security. We keep more people safe online than anyone else in the world. Proactive safety, built-in protections. We support compliance, as we've seen already. And remember, there's no advertising in Google Workspace for Education core services, and none of your data goes anywhere. So if you want to provide students with access to their academic work and materials after they graduate or move to a different school, it's now a lot easier with something called content transfer. It's a simple new way for students to take their work with them when they graduate or move schools so they can refer back to their past work. Admins can start the process by notifying students to select which accounts, files, and data they want to migrate from their institution provided account to another account if they want. So how it works is admins turn it on, they set an event to kick off the process. They can set a time window when this is active. Migration happens whenever the student, so the tool is available and actually shows up on the student devices. Migration happens when the student uses the tools. Students see an app pinned to the shelf and a nudge will alert them to it. The app is also searchable in the launcher. So this is an upgrade and an update to the old takeout feature. Your digital environment is only as safe as your weakest app or vendor. So inviting new apps into your digital learning environment can sometimes mean more risk. So I've brought new, more granular controls for third-party apps so you can keep more admin and management tasks within Google. And now it's easier than ever to control who gets access to which apps with more granular admin controls. Another really cool tool that's going to help the IT admins to save a lot of time is natural language processing, policy, and device search. In other words, you can use natural language queries to find lots of your policies in the Google admin console. So coming soon, you'll be able to use natural language to find the exact policy you need by providing machine learning results based on your need. So you can do a real simple search by saying, I'm looking for homepage settings, and it'll then give you a whole lot of suggestions rather than searching through as well. When they're not in school, it's important that students get time away from their devices. So we're now introducing a policy to help with that called device restriction schedule. As more schools are sending devices home after school hours, admins now have asked for additional ways to manage how much time is spent on the device. While the off-hours policy can be used to enable consumer accounts on school-managed devices, admins have asked for a policy to help address digital well-being and make sure students are limited in the hours on which they can use their school device at home. Device restriction schedule, which is the new Chrome OS device policy, is available in the admin console to control when school Chromebooks can be logged into at home. And for those of you who know and love our awesome tool, Chrome OS Flex, we're going to soon release some exciting new feature enhancements. So the new features include auto-enrollment, the decreased deployment costs, and firmware updates. What it will do is you can set up an installer that will automatically enroll a flexed device into your domain. It helps you to maintain your device security and functionality. The auto-enrollment support makes it easier and faster to deploy Chrome OS Flex when you set them up on your location or at your school. So that was a lot of updates, some brand new, some have completely rolled out. This slide here is available to have a look at all those things I have just announced. And the launch guide is available at this address here, bit.ly GFE BETT25 is where you can find all of those launch announcements. So all the ones I've just looked at is bit.ly GFE BETT25 to go to all the announcements that we have just made today. Just seeing in the chat there, Jessica, yep, the registration page. I will see if I can grab that for you right now. Actually, what I'll do is I'll flick over to the last couple of slides and then I'll drop that in for everyone. The other resource we looked at here is an EDU resource finder. So this is how you can find resources and get personalized updates for a bunch of our tools, for a whole lot of our tools. You can also sign up for email updates as well. So that brings us to the end of today's webinar. I would love it if you could fill in our feedback form, which is available to you there, either in the chat or if you're watching this on a recording at bit.ly BTS webinar 25. What I'll do is I'll give you a little bit of time to fill that out before I jump into some Q&A. I'll also just grab our registration page. So Jessica, I'll flick that to you in a moment. Just give me a minute to grab that while we're having a look at the registration page there. Do this. Here is the second link I'm dropping in there is the link to the registration page. That's where you'll find all the updated resources. Also in the calendar invitations you've got, the resources are in there as well. So you can find all the info in there you need, hopefully. If you can't find those, please do get in touch, but I have updated with all the calendar invitations with the recordings and any of the resources that I can share as well. There is a blog page about this as well. I'll drop that into the chat. So the blog page is in there is our Google Tools for Education 2025. That one looks like this page here. So that's available on our keyword blog, which goes through all those updates I've just talked about now. Has a really nice GIF here of what class tools looks like. So the ability to manage your class's devices a little bit better. So you can see we are sharing some work with the students. We can lock students to just one page if we want to, or just a subset of pages. We can push information out. We can also have a look at what the students are doing here. So we can see that. We can actually have a look at what's happening on the kids' devices. We can share our screen. We can join the class as well. So class tools, there's a lot of information on this page if you want to dive into those in a bit more detail. But for now, I will jump back to this one. So that was a race through our latest updates. Hopefully it wasn't too fast for you. There is the recording here you can go back over and have a look at, and there are the links inside the chat. When you go back to the calendar for today, you will see there'll be a link to the recording, there'll be a link to the chat, and there'll also be a link to the transcript that was created by Gemini. So I will finish the recording now and say thank you very much for your time. Thanks for your time this week. Ka kite anō, and hope you enjoy the last couple of days of holiday while you have them. So I will stop the recording.